We also performed together. We had songs we sang and acted out at camp for the parents and for the Lions Club in my hometown. Charlotte went on to get her teaching degree and taught elementary school for some time, and later she moved to Kilgore and taught again. Then she got the principal's job. She thoroughly loved it and put all of her energy into it and the students. Finally, she left the school and studied to become a Methodist minister. You see, she could never stop learning and growing and taking on new responsibilities. It was part of her. We used to talk about her role as a minister in one of our telephone conversations, and again, she was so happy, loved working with people from the community and doing good wherever she could. She loved where she lived with John, and she was so glad that she had her boys in her life. They were very special to her, and of course she loved them dearly. She also loved her sisters Melissa and Kim, and of course me, the cousin. She informed me not that long ago that she decided that whenever we got into trouble growing up, it was always my idea, and I had to agree. I will miss her, but the memories will always be a part of me. Blessings, love, and safe journey, Charlotte. So I was a little side myself. They were quite a pair, Charlotte and Melissa, and they did get, Charlotte and Marcia, and they did get into quite a bit of trouble. I've heard some stories of that. They were rather rambunctious girls together. The second person that can't be here today is our middle sister, Melissa Belusic. And that second song that we just listened to, my sister Melissa wrote that song. She writes gospel songs, and she wrote that song when our grandmother died. And so I'm really glad we got to play it today. So Melissa couldn't be here because she's having physical problems, health problems, and couldn't travel. And so she wrote me something to read as well. And she says, I have lots of memories about our growing up years. One of my first memories was when we moved from Houston and we lived next door to our grandmother. Charlotte was old enough to remember our Houston home, and it made her sad to move away. One day Charlotte told me to come with her to the pantry. She burned 2 candles and told me it was like our home in Houston fading away. We cried together in the pantry. I remember Charlotte taking care of me in the summer while Mother was at work. She would read me Peter Rabbit stories if I would hold her leg. So I'm deviating from the script here, and I asked my sister Melissa, I said, what do you mean? She said, well, Charlotte was a little angry at times, or resented having to take care of me in the summer while Mama worked. And so Charlotte would sit on the bed or in a chair and make Melissa hold her leg up to get a story read. There's another side to Charlotte. But just as a child. Okay, let's see. And then Melissa keeps going. As we both grew older, I especially remember the trips to Kilgore with Kim for visits. She made sure we ate at her favorite restaurant there and was always the perfect hostess. Later, when Kim and I would visit Charlotte in the memory care facility, we would read from the Bible and sing hymns together. She seemed to really love that and was able to sing along with us. Charlotte, I wish I could have been there for your final hours. I love you as a sister, and especially love the way you loved God. I will miss you, your sister Melissa Belusic. And then this is for me. Charlotte was my sister. I would say oldest sister, but she disliked that word, oldest. She would correct me and say she was my most beautiful sister. Not your oldest sister, your most beautiful sister. She was a very proper woman, never a hair out of place, always perfectly dressed, and always spoke like a regal and highly intelligent woman, which she was. Of course, I will say our mom raised 3 regal and highly intelligent. Charlotte and Melissa were really half-sisters to me. They had different father, but I didn't know about half-sisters until I was about 8 years old when my grandmother told me. My mother was furious, and she said, they're sisters. They will always be sisters, all the way. Charlotte was 15 when I was born, and in order to help bring me into the family, Mom let Charlotte name me. And you can imagine what a 15-year-old might have named somebody. She chose the name Kim Lee after Kim Novak and Janet Leigh, which were her two favorite movie stars at the time. So I loved the name. I got off easy. At least it wasn't. Please forgive me if there's anybody named Candy out here, but I'm glad my name's not Candy. Melissa's part was to hold me on the way home from the hospital. I know Charlotte loved me very much because I'm told she carried me around all the time like I was her baby. Charlotte married when I was 3 years old and moved out of our little garage apartment, and it was tiny where the 5 of us lived. After she married, we never lived in the same city, and for a while not even in the same state, but we grew very close and maintained that closeness during our whole lives. Charlotte loved her family and always kept track of what was going on with us in Austin. She would send me cards and gifts when she knew I was having a hard time with life, fights with Mom and Dad, boyfriend troubles, in between jobs. One time she sent me money to buy a new dress so I'd have something new to wear for the interviews coming up. I knew she cared and visited us when she could. And while she lived in the Northeast, she decided she wanted to have children. She would call her Mom every month when the pregnancy test came back negative. She and Mom would have a big cry and talk, and that was the long distance, was really expensive. Most of y'all remember that. Anyway, we all know how that story turned out. I think with all of her accomplishments, the thing that meant the most to her and made her the happiest was having 2 fine boys, who are now 2 fine men. Charlotte was a great person besides what y'all know about. Daughter, sister, wife, homemaker, mother, grandmother, school teacher, school principal, preacher, counselor, writer, musician, and singer. She was many things to many people and will be greatly missed. Her memory will be held in the hearts of a multitude of people whose lives she touched. I loved my sister very much and always looked up to her. Rest in peace, my dear sister. Your work is done for this lifetime, but you will not be forgotten and remain in our hearts always. Thank you.